Welcome to Up to the Minute. Good to have you with us. I'm Todd Duplantis. It is the 24th of June, a Thursday, and it wouldn't be a Thursday without acting like a Monday. We got a few technical difficulties this morning, but the main thing about it is we're on broadcasting to you live on Facebook audience. Our Facebook audience, we welcome you to the show. We've got your HCC news and information in the next half hour. We're waiting on one guest to join us. We've got another guest on board on tap. But first, I've got a new co-host joining me. You may recognize her, Dr. Tony Rayo. She plays a big role behind the scenes here at HCCTV, and she's also joined us for the first time on Up to the Minute. She's going to be filling in several times for me when I go on vacation. But Dr. Tony, you're also going to be taking the part of Brittany, who's doing a few other things now, but you'll be filling in for her as well for the show.
I'm a little older version of Brittany, but hey.
Well, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. But, with age comes experience, and you've been with HCCTV for quite some time. Maybe you can tell folks a bit about your background with us.
About 25 years I've been at HCC, but before that I was at Channel 2 for 8 years, and before that Channel 13 for 4 years. So I've been in the business a long time.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you on board at HCCTV and here with us on Up to the Minute as well.
Good to be here.
All right. You want to remind folks about our social media, and then we'll get into the show as well?
Yes. Don't forget, we are on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, everything. And the good news, too, is that we're going live. We're streaming live on both Facebook and YouTube. So that's a neat thing. And just find us by going to Houston Community College District. That's how you find us, and follow us and have fun.
All right. Okay, Tony, stick around. We'll be with you later in the show. We're kind of switching things around. Sanford, I see you've just logged in. Sandy, we're going to be with you in just a moment. So if you would stand by, we'll get to you in about 10 minutes. Right now, we're going to kick things off with Christa Carreño Aldrich. She is with HEB, and she's the literary program manager, and she's our Thursday virtual family fun day guest. Good morning to you, Christa.
Good morning. Good to be on today.
Well, thanks for being on here. Let's talk with you about, why don't you tell us how this literacy program with HEB began? Yeah,
so about 10 years ago, Charles Butt and his team of researchers, who are some of the most excellent in the state and in the nation, were looking at education trends. And really the research kept surfacing that focusing on early childhood education and focusing on literacy at a young age is going to be the most beneficial, kind of biggest bang for your buck, right? When it comes to education and improving the education of children in the state of Texas. So the team got together and developed a program that we call Read 3. And basically the mission of the program is to encourage families to read to their young children early and often so that they're better prepared as they enter either pre-K or kindergarten.
And how do you work with the children in this program? Do you provide them books? Do you have mentorship? Do you go out and read to them? What does it involve?
Yes, all of the above.
All the above.
Yes. So one of our biggest programs that we rolled out is we really wanted to make books accessible to families. And we know that sometimes when you walk into that bookstore, those books are, they're pretty expensive, for a 2 or 3 year old to buy a $20 children's book. So what we provide in our stores, we have a program of Read 3 books that are priced at a value of $1. And those books often are in both English and Spanish, and they're written toward the ages of 2 to about 8 years old, depending on which book. Many of them are very, very, we use licensed characters like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shimmer Shine Girls. If you have kids, I'm sure you've heard of Paw Patrol. So those are the characters that are part of the book. So they are, they're books that are enticing kids, that they're interested in. They're very accessible for the children.
Now, I have a grandson who's almost a year old, and he already is picking up people's cell phones and he knows how to operate them, Yeah. He's already trying to turn it on and do this, that, and the other. Is it more important now to get children reading through real books, or do you also promote ebooks as well? Is it just get them reading, or do you want them reading the old-fashioned page books?
Personally, I'm a little old-fashioned, and I think no app can replace your lap and having a child on your lap reading a book. But actually, research will kind of tell you that as long as you're being exposed to literature and those vocabulary words, and you're sharing that time with the child, that's the most important part.
What is the goal of your program?
So the goal is to, like I said, make books accessible to our families, and to give families the resources and information that they need so that when their child starts school, they're better prepared for that. So some of the things that we do is we do have in September a big story event where if you have shopped at HEB before, and I'm hoping everybody watching has, you walk into the store and sometimes there's these combo logos. You buy one thing and with the yellow coupon, you get one or two other things free. Well, a 2-week time period in September, which is National Literacy Month, we offer a free book with a lot of our combo logos. And so we want, our families to go out there and take advantage of that. And if they can't use the book, they don't have a little one to share it with, they don't need to take it home, they can donate it right back in the store. And what we do with all of those donated books is we distribute them to agencies and organizations throughout the state who can put them in the hands of children who need them the most.
Well, I got to say, I'm a bit partial to HEB. I do shop there, and my son is a manager at one of your stores. So I've obviously got it in my family, but we're in the midst of summer right now. I would imagine this is the time where you really want to reach out to the families, because some of the kids, they may not have a whole lot to do at home. Do you have something coming up, I believe, in July, a special program you can tell us about?
Well, there's a few things that have already kicked off this summer. And the most important thing for families to think about right now, especially of school-age children, is that if we don't get them reading and doing some educational activities during the summer, they can become part of what we call summer slide and lose almost 20% of the knowledge they got over the past school year, just in the 2 or 3 months of summer. And we know this past school year was difficult as it was. So we're asking families to really kind of hunker down this summer and get your children reading. And one way to do that is by motivating them to read, by entering them in several different reading programs. So we know lots of businesses and local libraries provide summer reading programs where children can log the books that they read and receive a prize for reading so many books. Well, HEB has our own program that we've been doing for about 12 years now, I believe. It's called the HE Buddy Summer Reading Program. And they can go onto heb.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the webpage to the community link, and then click on the education tab, you will find it. And what we ask is that children read 10 books, they fill out their form, they send it in to the address listed, and they will receive a certificate of completion. And this year, they'll also receive a coupon to go and get one of those Read 3 books that we were talking about absolutely free in the store.
Boy, that brings back so many warm memories for me, because I remember there was a bookmobile when I was a kid that came around. It was from the local library. And during the summer, if you checked out 10 books and read them, they gave you a certificate. And I remember doing that one summer. It was so cool to get the certificate. That's all I wanted, man. I wanted to get those books, get the certificate, and put it on my wall. So hopefully that'll inspire some kids to get out there and read again. We're going into September, back to school. Boy, that's not going to be too far away. And I imagine the work with literacy is going to continue into the school year as well.
Yes, sir, for sure. And to close out the summer, though, we do have in the Houston area a TearPad campaign that will be going on at the register. So folks can decide to choose one of those little tabs and donate a little extra. And that money will go towards a backpack program, a school supply program with the YMCA there in the Houston area. And so we wanted to make you aware of that, so that if any families want to help, I'm looking at the dates, it'll run July 6th through August 6th.
Okay.
So that's for YMCA's Operation Backpack. We wanted to put that out there because we know there's lots of children in your area that need help with school supplies. So it's a great way for families to give back. But as we move into September, again, HEB will be hosting our September Read 3 event. And in addition to that event that happens in stores with those books that are free with the combo logo and can be donated back, we also host what we call the Read 3 Big Texas Read-In. And what we ask is schools to register. There will be a link that they can register at on our website. And it's very simple. All we ask is schools to stop and everybody in the school, including faculty and staff, read all at the same time for 30 minutes. And we choose a day and we choose a time period, and we ask all schools across the state to join us. And we're really just trying to get 100,000 or more children reading all at the same time on the same day. Simple to do,
very
simple
cool
for schools to access. And if they do register and participate, then their school will be entered in a drawing for cash and gift card prizes that will be delivered later in the month.
Christa, I see a news story in your future with that. I'm sure you're reaching out to the local TV stations. That would be cool to do a story on that. Okay, if educators and parents would like, I know you threw out a lot of dates, but if they'd like to break this down, get it on a website, where can they go to find it?
Yeah, of course, they can always go to heb.com. Again, it doesn't come right at you on the page, right? You got to scroll all the way to the bottom and click on the community tab, and then they can click on the education button. At that education button, they will find the HEB Summer Reading Program, and that runs now through October, actually. We give folks a pretty big grace time to get that done. They will also find under that tab some activity sheets called at-home activities, and those are ways that ideas for parents to engage children at home in pre-literacy and numeracy activities. So getting them engaged in helping you sort the laundry, because that teaches them patterns and coordinating colors and so forth. We also have on that same page what we call Buddy League. Buddy League is a program that we roll out typically in October during Bully Prevention Month. But there are videos and activities that typically educators will access them and use them with the children in their classrooms. They're geared at about 1st through 3rd grade. But there's no reason why parents couldn't also access them during the summer and have their children watch those videos. And it's a great series of animated videos about your character and how to act in a way that will build your character and make and spread kindness in not only their classroom, but throughout.
Christa, Carreño, Aldrich, thank you for being here and bringing us up to date with all the great work HEB is doing. We'll have a link to their website and the social media post. Remember, as Christa said, scroll the bottom of the page, click on community, then education, right?
Correct. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Christa. You take care. Have a good day.
Same to you.
All right, we're going to swing back to our other guests this morning. We've got Sandy Bledsoe. He is the managing partner of the Coral Sword. He's our gaming day guest. Good morning to you, Sandy. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I want you to tell me, because your place has been highly recommended by some people on our staff, by our students. Tell the viewers what Coral Sword is all about, first off.
Yeah, so board game cafe, so coffee, tea, beer, wine, and we also have a game library for people to play in the store, and then we also have games for people to purchase and take home. But the idea, the sort of sentence that we throw around a lot as kind of a mission statement is the power of play and the importance of coming together at the table and playing a game with your friends and your family.
Do you have
delicious food and drinks? So.
Do you have like teams that come in there and play at a time, or can individuals come? How does that work?
Yeah, so we do have several events. Obviously, COVID has kind of put a damper on a lot of things, but as we're kind of coming out of that, we're hosting more and more events every week. We do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering events, which is actually how I know Nathan Hale, who's affiliated with the program.
Yeah, Nathan pretty well as well. Yeah, he plays a little bit of a role in the show.
Yeah, and so. And then when it comes to sort of teams and stuff and individuals, generally most folks, they come with their friends and family. But with these events and things, you can come and meet other folks and find other folks to play with that way.
How has things, you mentioned COVID at the top of the show. Obviously that was very challenging for you, but how have things, have they bounced back? Are people wanting to get out more, and is business picking up a lot for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're actually, February was actually a surprisingly busy month, and things have just kind of accelerated from there. We've been seeing a lot of volume lately, which is really great. And obviously everybody's comfort levels are in different places. And so we try to be respectful and mindful of that. I don't want to overwhelm the staff. I want to make sure that they feel comfortable at work. So we haven't really tried to be packed just yet, but I've been really even during the worst months of the pandemic, I felt really overwhelmed by the level of support from our customers. So
there, I looked on your, I think it was your Facebook page. You had somebody on there playing Battleship. Is that a big popular board game at the Coral Sword?
Yeah, I think, there are so many games that, you just remember, you just have these fond associations with, and, whether it's Connect 4 or Battleship or Monopoly, obviously there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games to play. But we see those are the ones that people they gravitate toward at first, and then they start to explore the library a little bit more. But Battleship it's a great one. It's a family favorite, and it's been around forever. So everybody knows how to play that one.
There was a time in my life, and my wife, if she's watching the show, is going to laugh at me when I mention this, but many years ago, we're talking like 20 years ago, I used to just paint these little Lords of the Ring figures, and I think they were from some game. I never played the game, but I had about 150 figures. I just painted as a hobby one time, and I spent about a year and a half doing that. Is that game still popular? You know which one I'm talking about? Because it seemed like it was a strategy game. My kids tried to get me to play it, and I said, no, I just rather paint the figures.
The miniatures games are still huge today. We don't do a ton with them at Coral Sword. There are a lot of really great game stores here in Houston that do focus on those games, and they're still very, very popular. And Warhammer is a really big one.
Yeah.
And obviously there's also in Dungeons and Dragons, there's a huge miniatures community. We actually have a Discord server, and we've got a few folks. We've got a little channel for art, and people post their miniatures. Even people actually 3D print them now. You can actually print your own miniatures at home, which is really cool. But people actually paint them and share their their really cool sort of self-painted ones that they
right.
do.
Yeah.
Super
yeah.
cool.
That's mine. Were all my, it's funny because I had about 150 of them. My kids didn't want them. I wound up giving them to a nephew who actually liked the movie, but otherwise you throw them out. Hey, you guys do have a digital room as well where you do live streaming. What's that all about? You do board games, but you also do digital availability as well.
Yeah, so that was obviously the sort of esports and Twitch streaming has been really huge the last couple of years. Amazon purchased the streaming service Twitch a few years back. The podcast booth was this idea that my business partners, Hunter and Alexis Pence, they thought, wouldn't it be really cool if we had this sort of space in the cafe where we could stream games and we could do talk shows and things like that on Twitch. And I actually, at the time, I had never even heard of Twitch. And so when they brought this up, I said, okay, let me Google this real quick. And so, but it's been really fun. We actually had Steph Curry, basketball player, on a number of years ago. We played Mario Kart with him. And there was another gentleman named Gary Vaynerchuk. He's kind of like a Instagram, YouTube I don't know, influencer feels like the wrong word, but he's kind of like a motivational person about, kind of like taking charge of your life. And we had him come through a little while ago. But yeah, it's just, kind of hanging out and playing Mario Kart and just having fun with friends, but being able to do that in a sort of like digital way is really cool. And especially even during COVID, being able to connect with people that way has been really powerful.
You guys also have somewhat of a restaurant. You have a little bit of a menu there, and you serve coffee and refreshments. Maybe you could tell us what's your menu like. Yeah.
So coffee, tea, beer, wine. We do a little bit of food. We've actually got a vendor that's some friends, Half Moon Kitchen. They also have an ice cream company called Chocolate Wasted Ice Cream. They do a lot of food for us, based in the East End as well. Really great people. So we get some sandwiches and things from them. We've also got chicken tenders, French fries, and things like that. Just some kind of like light gamer grub. Yeah. We serve Greenway Coffee. They're the roaster that we work with. They're actually, the roastery is 2 doors down from us. It's just, we work with a bunch of Houston breweries, Sigma, formerly known as, Equal Parts, formerly known as Sigma, True Anomaly Brewing, also not too far away. Some really great Houston breweries. And, but yeah, it's basically just coffee, tea, beer, wine, a little bit of food, and games. You're located on Telephone Road. Maybe you can tell people who are wanting to come out there where exactly they can find you. Yeah, basically, we're just off 45 on Telephone near U of H campus, right by East End Barber is our neighbor. They're a really great barbershop next door to us.
That's an area that's under a lot of revitalization as well, right?
It's a lovely neighborhood. We did get a little bit of blowback when we first opened there. There was some negativity, but it's just an amazing community. It's a really lovely neighborhood, and I've been really amazed by the level of support that we've seen.
We've got to mention, of course, Nathan told us about it. Nathan's our director, Nathan Hale. He told us about your place, but we also had, it looks like one of our students, one of our former interns, did a video for you guys.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Yeah, his name is Chaz, and he was one of our former interns, and I believe we played some of that during the segment. Sandy Bledsoe, managing partner of the Coral Sword. Where can they find you on the web?
Coralsword.com, but also on all the social media platforms, just at Coral Sword. Instagram is probably the one that we're the most active on, but also on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Sandy, thanks for joining us here today. Take care, and congratulations, continued success out there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, we are going to move on to our news and information of the day. Of course, Dr. Tony Rayo, you may recognize her. Tony, you've done some other shows for HCCTV, haven't you?
Oh, I've done quite a bit. One of them is Line by Line, which is a theatrical thing. Forgot to mention, I also have a theater background, and I teach drama at HCC. And speech. So we do a lot of that, and a whole bunch of other shows, news shows and other things that we've done way in the past. So yeah.
So look for Tony on HCCTV. Okay. We've been talking about gaming. Rex Sports has got a lot going on right now, Tony.
Yes, they do. They have a self-defense class, which is free, which I think is the big thing about it. It's Tuesday, June 29th at 10 a.m. And you get a professional martial arts instructor, Angelus McFarland from Raven Martial Arts. And you'll learn how to be safe, how to protect yourself. And the fun part is that it's called Thai kickboxing. So Thai kickboxing, that sounds like that would be fun to do.
Yeah, Madden Tournament as well, and then summer fitness.
Yes, absolutely. And then also Rex Sports has the Madden Tournament. So if you like NFL and you like gaming, that's also fun. It's on June 29th also. And the neat thing about that is you get to win e-gifts. So you can win some prizes with that. And then the other thing that they're doing is the summer fitness class, and it's Zumba on Zoom. So that sounds really neat.
Yeah, Zumba on Zoom. You can't go wrong with that. Okay, summer drive-in, that's happening as well. What's better than a drive-in during the summer? Well, Stafford and student life, the two go hand in hand, but add the stars and hey, now you're talking. Bring your family and friends to this fun night under the stars, but reserve your parking space now. It's a drive-in movie. Disney's Soul will be playing. That's pretty cool. 7 p.m. Thursday, June the 30th. For more information, we'll have a link in the social media post. But hey, folks, we've got drive-ins at HCC. And Tony, the Texas Reskilling Grant Program is there for people who need to find a new skill set.
Yes. If COVID has been, it's been a problem for everybody, but if it has gotten you out of a job and you need new skills and you need to learn some things like that, you can go through this grant program and they will help you. And we have the information for that on our social post after the show.
Okay, music to our ears. This Saturday is the last chance to make music with HCC professor and Ableton certified trainer, David Sharma. This workshop includes music theory, creating beats, sampling, remixing, all that and more. 10 a.m. 2 p.m. Saturday. This Saturday, June the 26th, we'll have an email in the social media post for this show. Gallery Without Walls. That is happening really across the district on Instagram this year.
Yes. And I am looking forward to the June 26th thing with the music because I play percussion and that sounds like a whole lot of fun. But also the gallery we haven't been able to open up our galleries, but we're going to start opening it up now. But right now you can go to Instagram and you can see all the beautiful work that all the students have done. It will be a good thing to do.
That's cool. Okay. That's happening across the district. You know, we're having to do a lot of things virtually this year. In fact, Tony, you helped out the drama department, I believe it was a little over a year ago, when they had to do all their student presentations online, and you worked with them, and we did a broadcast here virtually.
Yes. The thing is because we couldn't actually, theater, you're supposed to be doing it live in front of a live audience. Right. We couldn't do that because of COVID, but what we did do is we did it virtually, and it was fun. Students got to learn how to act for the camera, and not only just for, the live audience. So there were a lot of new skills that we learned, and they had fun, and it was really a very good program.
Yeah, well, there may be a mixture of that in the future once we get back onto campuses. Of course, our campuses are open right now. We've got classes in person. That leads into our registration. There are going to be registration events happening across our district all the way through August. We have one more summer session, and then we have the fall semester, which is kicking off not that long from now. You can sign up for both online. We have 5 ways of learning, including online only, a couple of them that are involving just online classes. Some of them are hybrid. And then we have in-person classes on our campuses, the old-fashioned way before the days of COVID. Those are returning on campuses right now, as a matter of fact, this summer at HCC and certainly in the fall. One place to go to register, hccs.edu/now is the place to go. Okay, Tony, tomorrow on the show, we've got a couple of guests.
Yes, we have Christa Martinez from the Houston's officially greenlit actors and crew. They have a workshop. They just did a workshop, and they're getting ready to have another one in August. So we're going to talk to them about it's a workshop for filmmakers and actors. So if you really want to learn how to act for the camera, this is the place to go.
Yes, and we'll also welcome the return of our resident poet, Dr. Jimmy Adams. He's better known as the College Operations Officer at HCC Northeast College. We'll get an update there. But he's also our resident poet here on Up to the Minute. He'll give us his take on Juneteenth, which, of course, became a national holiday. That's why we were off last Friday. He was supposed to join us last Friday. He'll be here tomorrow. Okay, we're going to wrap up the show. Tony, we'll see you again next week, right?
Yes, I'll be here.
All right. Thank you for being here. Thank all of you for joining us. I'm Todd Duplantis. We'll see you live 10 a.m. right here on Up to the Minute.